How you guys doing today? And welcome back to Book of Febrio. And today we're gonna talk about the Conan Curse in UFC. But before we talk about that, make sure you check the Book of Febrio page in YouTube. For some athletes, superstitions play a big part in their career. From Michael Jordan's North Carolina shorts to Lyoto Machida drinking his own piss. Superstitions have been around sports since it started. There is a curse that is going around UFC, and it is called the Conan Curse. Conan O'Brien, a well-known talk show host in Hollywood, has a late-night show aired on TBS. The talk show premiered on November 8, 2010, and it used to be an hour-long show on NBC. On May 16, 2019, TBS renewed the show's contract till 2021. His guest is filled with high-profile celebrities such as actors, singers, and athletes. Getting interviewed in a late-night talk show, especially in Conan Talk Show, is a fun experience for superstars. Unfortunately, UFC fighters tend to stay away from that show. Fighters think it is bad luck to go to that show before their matches. Daniel Cormier, a former heavyweight champion of UFC, mentioned in Conan Talk Show that he was hesitant to attend because of jeopardizing his future in the fight. Fighters ended up losing right after they visit the show. The first victim was Ronda Rousey. She was the female athlete of the year in 2014. Rousey was also an undefeated fighter and demolished every bantamweight female fighter in the UFC. Sadly, Ronda Rousey wasn't not ready for Holly Holm's striking ability. Holly Holm won multiple boxing titles before going to UFC, and she surprisingly knocked out Ronda Rousey in the second round. Rousey experienced her first loss in the worst possible way. She retired mixed martial arts after she underwent another loss against Amanda Nunes. Miesha Tate went on to Conan and talked about Ronda Rousey's loss. Tate grudgingly mentioned in the talk show, "I just don't know if she'll come back the same because she seems awfully pouty about the loss." Miesha Tate and Ronda Rousey had history fighting each other. Rousey beat Tate twice in their MMA career. Ironically, Miesha Tate lost to Amanda Nunes via near-naked choke submission. She also lost the UFC Bantamweight Championship title and retired from MMA after experiencing another loss. An awful reputation starts to build around the Conan show at that time. Coming out of 15 winning streaks, Conor McGregor was set to fight Rafael dos Anjos in UFC 196. An unexpected injury to Rafael dos Anjos, Dana White replaced him with Nate Diaz for the main event. Diaz had only 11 days to prepare for the fight against Conor McGregor. On March 3, 2016, Conor McGregor was the guest on the talk show. He made fun of Nate Diaz, he taunted Nate Diaz, and he expected it to be an easy fight. He called Diaz a fat skinny guy. That didn't make sense, but Conor McGregor is very creative when it comes to making fun of people. Luckily, Diaz beat Conor McGregor in the second round via rear naked choke submission. After beating Conor McGregor, Conan invited Diaz to come to the show. It was his first time on the talk show, and he discussed the match with Conor McGregor. He also stated that he is a better fighter than Conor McGregor. The rematch was scheduled for July 26, 2016. It was a back and forth battle, but the UFC judges decided it was a majority decision in favor of McGregor. It is kind of funny how they both went to Conan's show right before their match, and they both lost the fight. Conor McGregor did not learn his lesson, and he went back to Conan's show to talk about Khabib Nurmagomedov. McGregor, the overconfident athlete, mentioned Nurmagomedov feared him as a competitor. He predicted that he will expose his weakness and called him a slow and flat-footed fighter. On October 6, 2018, Khabib Nurmagomedov dismantled Conor McGregor, and McGregor lost via neck crack submission. Another guest that did not benefit from the Conan show is Michael Bisping. He was getting ready for the biggest fight of his career against George St-Pierre. Similar to McGregor, he also was taunting his great opponent before the fight. In the show Joe Rogan Experience, a sports podcast, Joe Rogan called George St-Pierre one of the greatest MMA fighter ever in the UFC. St-Pierre performed the perfect near-naked choke submission and beat Bisping. Again, Bisping was just one of the victims of the Conan Curse. Going back to Daniel Cormier, he was the first one to break the curse. He knocked out Stipe Miocic in the first round. He won the UFC Heavyweight Championship. He was the second fighter in the UFC to hold 2 titles in 2 weight classes, for light heavyweight and heavyweight. Cormier beat the curse and went back to Conan's show and brought both 2 championship belts. Ironically, Cormier lost to Miocic the next time they faced each other. Miocic beat Cormier via technical knockout. Cormier is the last victim of the Conan Curse. There is no proof that the Conan Curse is true. It could be just bad luck or just a mere coincidence in the sport of mixed martial arts.